Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, join me, Rob McConnell, as together we'll investigate the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology here on the X-Zone Radio TV show on XZBN and the X-Zone TV channel on Simul TV. Since 1990, the X-Zone Radio TV show has been the place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. Together, we'll investigate UFOs, aliens, ghosts, Bigfoot, psychic phenomena, lake monsters, conspiracy theories, government cover-ups, the truth embargo, alien abductions, ESP, haunted locations from around the world, and so much more. With over 28 years of broadcasting and more than 4,500 individual guests, the X-Zone is truly a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality, as evidenced by the credibility, integrity, and professionalism of the guests that we bring to our international audience. If you have seen a UFO, had a close encounter, seen a ghost, Bigfoot, lake monster, or a story that you would like to share or have investigated, contact me, Rob McConnell, by sending me your email to xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, or you can call toll-free 1-800-610-7035, extension 143, and on Skype, X-Zone Radio TV. For more information on the X-Zone Radio TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, visit www.xzoneradiotv.com or www.xzonetvchannel.com or simultv.com and xzbn.net. Until next we meet here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, always remember, X-Zone Nation, keep your eyes to the sky and your heart in the light.
Welcome to the Imagine More Success radio show with Cindy and Thomas. We are really excited that you could join us today. We've got a really fun guest who's going to be coming on a little bit later. We're going to have Siobhan Nicolaou, who's going to be on in this segment, who is going to be enlightening us about some amazing ways to transform your life after you've had any kind of tragedy or trauma in your life. Cindy, this is something that is a very timely and probably always timely topic, but it seems like it's even more timely right in this moment.
It absolutely is, Thomas, and I am always amazed at the effect that all energy has on so many things. So I'm thrilled that we have my friend Siobhan here to share with us her extraordinary knowledge about this topic.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to take a moment to tell you a little bit about Siobhan. Siobhan is a speaker, teacher, published author. She's a medium for spirit and a master of energy transformation. And when she's not busy out in the field, kind of transforming people's lives and their homes and everything around them, she's teaching the language of love through readings, classes, and through teaching and sharing meditations. Siobhan, welcome to the show today.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
It's really nice to have you here. I know you've spent a lot of time really helping some clients, but I want you to focus in today and tell us the story of one of the clients that you've helped very recently.
Well, one of the clients called me because she was in a lot of distress around a new tenant she had, which was probably number 4 in the string. And every time she got a new tenant in the place, the issues would escalate. And so we helped her remotely, actually. This house is overseas, and we helped her transform the energy in and around her house. We discovered what the issues were and then dealt with the energy that was affecting everyone and everything around it.
And then what was the outcome after that?
Well, she ended up working with us as well, doing her part, and the tenant ended up leaving. And we brought it all into harmony, so now she can manifest a much better situation for herself and her property.
Very cool. So it's bad tenant out, good tenant in.
That's
Hey,
it's all
that's
energies.
important.
So we're looking for a different vibrational match, yes. Now that it's harmonized, she has to draw somebody in who matches that frequency instead of the tragedies that happened on that land, which included death and other nefarious activities.
Well, can you take just a moment, Siobhan, and share with our listeners what vibration means, because sometimes people don't have, the knowledge that we do about such
The
things.
terminology, yes. Okay, so it's a scientific fact that everything is energetic. It's all energy. And so everything vibrates, if you will, either fast or slow. And so things that appear to be more dark or ominous in nature are moving slower. Yeah, but they're still invisible to most people. And so everyone is influenced by their environment, whether they're aware of that or not. Most people aren't aware of it, so they're very much influenced by the forces that be. And so, yeah, energy is a frequency. And if you're vibrating in an emotional nature, it's a lower frequency. And if there are traumas that have happened on a property, in resonance, those things will magnify through the people that are there. And so it's all about helping to transform the energy, not just clear it, as most people think that that's all that needs to be done. So you, again, raise the vibration. You awaken the vibration that is within this dimension, which is actually love.
Well, it makes a lot of sense that when you clear it, you just move it to another location. You don't really transform it. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, you can't really clear it. It'll come back in resonance. The energy has to literally be awakened to the essence of itself, which in this dimension, everything is love. But there's a lot in the world that doesn't know itself to be the love that it is. And so we're the only ones that are enlightened enough to awaken it to the essence of its true self. And therefore it becomes, even a house becomes a living being of love. It becomes the consciousness that it is. We take it to this whole level of itself and then have a different relationship with it.
So then can you go to the next step and talk a little bit about frequency? Because I think if you can share a little bit on those 2 points, the vibrational value and the frequency, then people will have a better understanding. Because what you're sharing is life-changing for many people.
Yeah, for everybody who experiences it.
Yes.
And so frequencies and vibrations are the same kind of thing. A vibration is a quality of a frequency. They have these different numbers. They just appear differently. Anything you're experiencing in what we call a lower frequency would be emotional or physical, that you can't explain, that becomes something of a paranormal activity. It's aggressive, it's angry, it's sad, it's frustrated, it's lonely, you name it. All of those are lower frequencies of energy.
All the negative emotions are the negative. That
It's
makes
an illusion.
a lot of sense.
Yes, so we awaken it from the illusion that it is sad, because there are no opposites in truth. In this dimension, it is polar, it's duality. But if you want to live in peace, you must live beyond the division of putting things in piles as good and bad, because the essence of everything that we want to judge as being bad is actually the love it doesn't know itself to be. So there's no such thing as what people resist. And when they resist, they make it bigger.
Yes.
And that's another law of physics.
And you bring it to yourself.
Yes.
Do you find that a lot of times people are actually experiencing these negative effects based upon their location, and they're not totally aware of it, or they're not aware of where they're coming from?
Yes, because they have to be in vibrational resonance with wherever they move somehow. Because a home is like a human body. And so the emotional body of a human gets created through the imprinting process while it's forming in the womb based on feeling. And so a house is just like a brand new physical body that gets the emotional energy created within it by the families that live there. And so, you can have a beautiful home on a virgin piece of land and people move in and they're all, they buy it, and then there's tragedy that happens, and those emotions are expelled and expressed within the house, and they stay there. And so, and then another family moves in and they kind of match that energy, and it magnifies through them. And then there might be a tragedy of another kind. So it just layers itself over years and years and years. And people being so, in this world, don't understand. They believe that all the drama and all the negativity is real. And so they just think that's the way life is. So it's layered over years.
So how does someone go about figuring out that what's occurring in their life may actually be tied to the place that they're living, or that they're spending their time?
Well, people don't believe in really what I do until they need help. People go, I don't believe in that kind of thing until things start flying across the room and their child are waking up in the middle of the night, terrified of the man over there in the corner, and all these other paranormal things they can't explain. And
Gotcha.
then they see something is bigger. And sometimes it's a wake-up call. Sometimes people are really here to awaken to the to the higher level of themselves. And so they'll move into a house to bring somebody to it who can awaken them to that. Sometimes they resonate with it in a lower form. And so, they'll bring a drug addiction into the house because it resonates with the trauma that is there.
Okay.
So there's all kinds of ways. Yeah.
Let me ask you this: for someone who, let's start off first talking about someone who's maybe looking for a new place to live, whether it's a new apartment or a new home that they're purchasing.
Mm-hmm.
What are some steps that they can take to make sure that the place that they're living has positive effects on their life?
Well, first of all, they have to be wanting that. I always recommend every place I've ever rented or owned, I go in and I take care of the energy that's been there first. And
so you do like a clearing first?
I go in and I feel around, and there is a process I go through to claim it as my own. And I'm all about love, so I claim it as love. And there is a process to do that. It's kind of a lengthy one. Actually, every property that we work with for about 3 months after the initial work. When you intend love and you want it, even houses that have been just freshly built, people have had me in to clear the energy of the hammering and of the clamoring and the chaos of the building of it, just to kind of reset it and bring it into harmony. Also, feng shui has a lot to do with that. And when I can't do a feng shui job myself, then I have somebody that I recommend to help bring the structure into balance without having to rebuild anything.
Wow. That's really pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Once you've gone through the process, do people typically have the feeling when they re-enter, like the first time they go back, do they automatically feel a difference?
Absolutely. We had a really extreme case last year out in the desert Nevada, and this beautiful young Christian couple had a couple of children, and that would be the last person you'd expect to call someone like me to help them out. And they were just lovely folks, but they had all kinds of things going on in that house that the energy that was there. And so we helped them bring it about, and they were able to sell it after about a year. They went through the process of beautifying it, the energy being upgraded and transformed, helped every aspect of their life upgrade. They ended up moving to this wonderful place in Texas. The kids are thriving, no more terror, no more things flying. Yeah, it was really a positive experience.
That's
so
really
they noticed
incredible.
It right away. Yeah, everybody does.
And this is the thing, when it comes to real estate, you don't have to disclose things like that, right, in every single state, right? Just because there's been a tragedy there's actually maybe no way to know, unless maybe you see, as a friend of mine did, she actually saw a news article about her address when she looked it up long after she had moved in, and she was noticing chaos in her own home. Yep. And she found out that there had actually been a murder-suicide that had taken place, a domestic issue, and she actually hired someone to do that very same work a couple of years ago, and it did make a massive difference in her own life. And definitely there's a lot of so yes, I've seen this in person, heard of it, and it's fascinating. And we're going to come back in just a moment. In the next segment, we're going to talk more with Siobhan, and we're going to hear more about how you can utilize her services, not only to help you in your business and your life, but even one way to actually help you make more money. So we'll be back in just a couple of moments on the Imagine More Success radio show. How would your life change if you could develop the business and personal skills that you need in order to make more money? Do you want to learn how to achieve your big life goals faster? Then go to findhiddenmoney.com and get the Goal for It online course. The course teaches you how you can set and achieve your biggest goals while completely overcoming the roadblocks to your goals so that you can realize your dreams and imagine more success. Go to findhiddenmoney.com.
Has the fear of public speaking stalled your business or personal life? What would you give to develop and maintain supreme confidence? have an invaluable private program to always perform at your best. Imagine how you would feel. You can have all that and so much more today with Thomas Hyde's life-changing course called Number One Fear Unleashed. Visit numberonefear.com and be liberated from your fear of public speaking. Memorable dynamic presentations are a not-so-secret weapon in the business world. Do you have a powerful message that must be shared, but you haven't found a way to deliver that message? Do you want to be known as a top public speaker who gets amazing results? Are you ready to create and deliver your powerful message? Thomas Hyde can help you create and deliver your speech to get the results you desire. Visit iconquality.com.
Did you expect your business to flourish, but instead it plateaued or didn't get off the ground yet? Would you like to achieve massive goals and discover new sources of income within your business? When you're ready to experience that type of success with fast results, Cindy Hendricks is the business coach for you. Her work with entrepreneurs and business owners has been life-changing. To get you and your business where you want to be, go to imaginemoresuccess.com. Welcome back to the Imagine More Success radio show with Cindy and Thomas. Today we've got Siobhan Nicolaou on with us today. Siobhan, in the previous segment, we were talking about the work that you've done with helping people to clear negative energies from their home and in their environment and actually bring in this feeling of love as well as this vibration and frequency of love. Siobhan, is this something that, say, like real estate agents should be utilizing, or people who are selling their home, so that people who are looking at the home can feel a really positive experience when they're going to purchase it?
Absolutely. In fact, many of the real estate agencies I've reached out to about this just don't want to really accept it, because real estate industry has been around a long time and a lot within it hasn't changed in the terms of consciousness. However, there's one agency particularly that is becoming more innovative in their approach, and I'm hoping that they will seek me out in this way and make it mainstream, because I've got 30 years doing this professionally. So you need somebody, not just sage and salt, who says, I got a little bag of tricks, I think we'll do this thing. And there's a lot of that out there. So we really transform the energy in a house. And yes, and all of the non-disclosure laws are different in every single state. There is a great resource I know of that people can look up. It is their business to know every property around, and they can give you a whole history of the house.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a tremendous resource for someone to have, especially when you're selling a home that is not something that someone's just looking to maybe make a profit from, but someone who's looking for a home that is going to be their personal home. They want it to have a certain feeling. They want to love it, and that's what really gives people that impetus to make the decision to buy something, and even be willing to pay more for something if it's something that they deeply connect with.
Well, I believe I have read somewhere that if someone passes away in a home, that it has to be disclosed at the time the home is sold. Is that true? Do you know?
No, every state is different. In California, you don't. It's 3 years. After 3 years, you don't have to disclose it. Some states are different. I think what is it, Ohio or Utah? I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. But every state is different. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Siobhan, when it comes to the work that you're doing, do you spend a lot of time with basically people one-on-one? Like, is in your process, do you?
Well, I train people to do this because what I do is based in love and the big picture. It's not about the money. And believe me, I've given a lot of this away when it's been really warranted and the people are in major distress and they don't really have anything to give. My point is to reawaken and manifest the consciousness within physicality here on the earth. So the vibration of the earth can rise as well. What is left on the planet that is crying out to be transformed, if you will, is a lot of the souls that are left here. And so people don't often understand how that works. So when someone dies, the physical body begins to decay and the emotional body is left here on the planet. The spirit, the highest part of the person, is actually what goes back into everything else. So we're dealing with, how many how many years have humans been on the planet and how many tragic deaths. And so because even in this world of teaching people for so many years, like I have, humans don't want to clean up their own emotional garbage. And so this is how things act in resonance. Somebody goes in and they're full of anger and they buy a house, and then anger and fear are two things that lower vibrational frequencies loves to play with. So it needs something to make it active. And
what do you mean by that?
Okay, so if somebody that's angry goes into a house, buys a house, then the anger has to be in resonance with the house somehow, the emotional energy of the house and the physical, and then it will magnify through them. So if there is negative energy or lower vibrational frequencies in that home, it will magnify through the person. It'll become larger through them. That's why there's things that happen out there like mass murders. People don't realize how influenced they are by the frequencies of energy that are all around waiting to catch up with somebody who's in resonance with them.
You mean that the energy that would, say, lead someone to do a mass murder is kind of out there floating around, and that a specific person
it's everywhere
falls in alignment. Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's
kind of like the only difference between a medium and somebody who's out there unknowing is the fact that one's unknowing and one's not.
Well, it sounds like it's a puzzle piece. One puzzle piece matches with the other puzzle piece. It makes the picture, and then that's when the low vibrational activity begins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, so I don't really, like I say, I'm in it for the love of it. I'm in it for the transformation. I see how it impacts lives and homes and neighborhoods and everything. I'm afraid if the real estate industry, which is starting to get a whiff of this, wants to grab onto it and make it their own, they're going to really do it from an ego standpoint, which will be somewhat effective, but not as effective coming from a different perspective.
Well, I kind of see it maybe almost, I would say, a red herring project, but it's a way for good work to be done, even if the original motivation is not necessarily specifically for good work. It would be something that would probably make a difference on a grand scale if it moved into.
In a way, yes. But what
I
do is so different from the average person that's the point I'm making. If I were just going out there slinging around salt and sage and calling it a day and thinking, great, that's wonderful, it'll help the house to a degree. Mm-hmm. But you see, when I work with the people one-on-one, as you were asking earlier, it's more like they give me the job and then I get a lot of information from that house when I'm finished, and I give them a report afterward. Sometimes they're already having things going on and they know what's happening. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes there's things I find out that they had no idea that would be the source. And so I encourage them to do their part. If they're going to stay in that house, they've got to learn to shift their own way of being. It's not, in order for everything to work completely, or they'll just sell the house.
When you're talking about making that shift, do you find that one of the biggest parts of making the shift is it actually kind of disconnecting from all the distractions first? Because that's what it seems like to me, that human beings are extraordinarily distracted from the idea of focusing on the concept of love. Is that true?
Well, that's the problem, is that they think it's an ideal and a concept. It's a way of being, and it's the essence of everything in this dimension. And so when you yourself are awakening your body and emotional body by reclaiming it as the love light that it is, then you become that way of being. It's not a doing. Love is a way of being. It's not a doing. And so many people get this concept of love and they go out and try to do love. And that's not where consciousness is going. And it's not going to be effective in moving anything forward more than 5 feet.
Yeah, I've met a couple of those do lovers and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, because it usually comes from an extension of should, have to, ego, big time. And believe me, in spiritual work, the egos are the biggest in this realm.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
So what exactly, and when you say that people do those things from an ego standpoint rather than an internal motivation, how does it affect them and how does it affect what they're doing?
Well, it doesn't make what they're doing very effective at all. And how it affects them is it just racks up karma because of where they're coming from, especially those who look at it like if real estate people were saying, hey, this is the thing, we want to make this the new trend, then they're looking at it from a place of creating something new from a place of ego rather than having me work with people or train them to break their ego down enough to realize that where they're extending themselves from is the vibration of love and awakening that within everything else. It's quite a wonderful service. It really is reclaiming the light on this planet.
Well, it makes me think of people looking for eye candy instead of real and true love. And they try to make the eye candy that they found in the other person become a substitute for the being in love.
Yes. Well, it's not a doing, and people will take things and just use them for their own thing. And all I got to say is there's a lot of power in the world, but look where power gets you. Mm-hmm. Power isn't getting us anywhere. The power of love is the only thing that is transforming and lasting in nature. I've come to that through my many years of being cultured by transforming the quote negative or lower energies in me to reclaim the love light that I am, to be teaching people at the level that I am now about this work and how it is to be brought forth. So I have a 6-month training program that I have implemented. Actually, my next one starts this week. And every 6 months, I'm training handpicked people for this work, people who really want to be intentionally out there serving for the love of it. Yeah.
Wow.
So exciting. And what a great give back.
Yeah, I love it. I love my job.
Siobhan, do people discover love through feelings or through emotions or actions?
Well, how I ended up getting to know myself as love, because when I first started my spiritual work about over 30 years ago, I was channeling, which many people do, and I'm not judging it. I'm just saying it's so 10,000 years ago. There's nothing that comes through you. It really comes from you if you're connected to the being that is within you. And so it's a way I teach people to do it is using golden light, because on a frequency level, vibrational level, that's the essence of everything in this dimension. Beyond duality as we experience it, if you take the duality away, its essence is love. Everything here was created from that. And so I work with people by getting them grounded in what that actually means, and working with golden light on purpose and staying in the body and getting in a co-creative relationship with that spirit of love. When you become self-aware through that process, you're able to then transform what negative emotion or ego wants to come into play in any given moment and love yourself more to reclaim what has created these weird patterns in your life to being the love that they are. They come from insecurity, fear, all those things are the reasons why people lash out. Not feeling good enough is huge. And so when they learn how to love that little part of them, then it take back their power. They take back their love, the power of love in their experience, and they don't have to go out and it's not outside in anymore. Let's just put it that way.
Absolutely.
Inside out.
Siobhan, this is fascinating and highly enlightening and really informative. We really appreciate what you've brought to us so far today. We want you to stick around. We're going to be back in just a moment with Siobhan Nicolaou. We're going to hear more about golden light and how it can transform your life and what's in store for you on the Imagine More Success radio show. How would your life change if you could develop the business and personal skills that you need in order to make more money? Do you want to learn how to achieve your big life goals faster? Then go to findhiddenmoney.com and get the Goal for It online course. The course teaches you how you can set and achieve your biggest goals while completely overcoming the roadblocks to your goals so that you can realize your dreams and imagine more success. Go to findhiddenmoney.com.
Memorable dynamic presentations are a not-so-secret weapon in the business world. Do you have a powerful message that must be shared, but you haven't found a way to deliver that message? Do you want to be known as a top public speaker who gets amazing results? Are you ready to create and deliver your powerful message? Thomas Hides can help you create and deliver your speech to get the results you desire. Visit iconquality.com.
Did you expect your business to flourish, but instead it plateaued or didn't get off the ground yet? Would you like to achieve massive goals and discover new sources of income within your business? When you're ready to experience that type of success with fast results, Cindy Hendricks is the business coach for you. Her work with entrepreneurs and business owners has been life-changing. To get you and your business where you want to be, go to imaginemoresuccess.com.
Has the fear of public speaking stalled your business or personal life? What would you give to develop and maintain supreme confidence? Have an invaluable private program to always perform at your best. Imagine how you would feel. You can have all that and so much more today with Thomas Hyde's life-changing course called Number One Fear Unleashed. Visit numberonefear.com and be liberated from your fear of public speaking.
Welcome back to the Imagine More Success radio show with Cindy and Thomas. We're so happy that you continue joining us today. We're on with Siobhan Nicolaou, who is actually an amazing spiritual teacher, speaker, published author, medium for spirit, and master of energy transformation. Siobhan, in the previous segment, we were talking about how people can begin to open themselves up to their understanding of love. We talked about some of the roadblocks to it. Earlier, you were mentioning that fear and anger and lack of self-esteem and self-confidence actually were basically some of those roadblocks. When you're working with clients and you run up against that, does it sometimes take a little bit of convincing to let them know that is actually the issue?
No, actually, it takes a bigger stick, and I laugh when I tell them that, because the spirit in me is the sword of truth. And so through the work that I've done to transform my own emotional body over the past 27 years, I've arrived to the source of that love itself, which is the spirit within it. And so I always encourage people, when they come to me, they got to know that they're going to get their ego knocked down. That's really the part of it. I'll bring things to their awareness and show them how to overcome it, so they, if they want to, can overcome it. I get a lot of resistance because I'm here to work with some of the harder cases. And so because I know that consciousness so well, it's not a problem for me to go into that environment or something they try to put me in a tricky way where I can't stand there and go, seriously, this is all you've got?
A little bit of self-denial, I'm sure.
Really, please. So
really, I think, a lot of it too, obviously survival mechanism for people, right? It's and protection for what they feel is protection. Is that often things that obviously built up over time?
That's a perfect point. Protection isn't something that you want to surround yourself with to avoid what is bad out there, because that creates division. Love doesn't divide, love just loves. And in the presence of love, anything can come into its awareness, and it doesn't think with the mind to judge it, to create resistance. So my whole point of love is non-resistance. You can't have any resistance and go into an active scene like that without having things go crazy. Because if you're throwing holy water around and stuff, you're calling it bad and trying to make it transform, and God forbid you bring out the cross. I mean, really. So it's not like what people think based on the TV shows.
So I have to ask you this, because I've heard from many people that are in the circle that I'm in talk about how crazy it is that there are these ideas that we fight cancer, or that there's a war on drugs, or there's a war on poverty. Talk to me about your ideas then. If having wars on things is not the answer, how do you recommend going about changing things like that, and how do you bring love into them?
Well, if war worked, we would have been free people a long time ago. And the only seriously, and the only war we're fighting is the one within our mind and heart that are divided. If we didn't have judgment, we wouldn't have any problem. And so the conflict begins and ends within you. And so when I help people find real, go into themselves with the golden light and reawaken that vibrational frequency, the true essence of their being, they begin to recognize themselves, feel themselves, and experience themselves as the love that they are. And then the presence of love becomes the dominant vibration, and anything that comes up that doesn't know that it too is love can be transformed in its presence. So as far as, you can't fight anything, and I'm sorry, but leaders don't march. They don't. Opposition, it's a law of physics. It can't be simpler. What you push against will push back. So that's what white light does in this dimension. It actually creates its polar opposite, which is darkness, and pushes against it. So if you're casting out white light around you, you're creating the resistance by calling something bad when it doesn't know that it is love. There is no such thing as evil. It's the name of my book, The Absence of Evil.
Yeah, and it is a fascinating book. And just take a moment, tell us where can people get your book?
Well, you can get it on my website. There's a Kindle available as well. You can get it at East West Bookstore in Mountain View. You can get it in, there's numerous bookstores. Amazon, of course, Amazon.
Siobhan, take a moment and spell the name of your website so that everyone can
find
it.
It's my name. So it's S as in Sam, I-O, B as in boy, HANNICOLAOU.com.
Yes, Siobhan Nicolaou, the Sword of Truth. That's the other defining term that you can find as well to find the website. When people experience tragedy or trauma, how long do you find that a major one, when they experience a major tragedy or trauma, how long does it take them to heal?
Well, that's another good point you're bringing up. When we can transform the energy of where the trauma happened, humans can heal a lot faster, because all the energy that's left here after the fact is still active until it's resolved. That's why there's so much chaos everywhere in the world, because I said all the millions of years humans have been here suffering, all that energy is left behind, and unless it's transformed, it's still here. So say if somebody gets shot on a street corner and and they call me and they want resolution with their loved one, I'll give them that, but I'll also encourage them and ask permission, because we just don't go do anything without permission, to be able to transform the energy on the spot of where it happened, because it's still active in the spot. If you notice that sometimes on the freeway, and I notice this a lot, where car accidents happen in the same place over and over and over and over, tragedies happen at the same crosswalks, because energy is still active there and it just catches up with people.
That's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what to say to that, because the idea of that is so very true. I remember as a kid, I grew up in St. Augustine, Florida, which is one of the older cities just in the U.S. Ponce de Leon landed there, 1565. I remember going out into the woods and finding, Native American arrowheads out there in land that obviously, as far as I know, had never been occupied. But it always made me think that, there's people that were moving through here, hunting, gathering, doing whatever. And then you think about how many people on one place, one piece of land, one spot, how many different activities have taken place there. Think about all the people all around the world, especially these really old places in the world.
Yeah.
The level of experience has to be incredible. The things that could be transformed for the better, innumerable.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. I've been to St. Augustine. It's absolutely gorgeous. The white sand there, and it's a very nice place. I really enjoyed the beach. Yeah, so like I say, we really can't do anything unless we're asked. And I always use spirit as my guide in that. I just don't jump in and say, we need to go clean this up, because again, that divides. If you say there's something wrong with something that needs to be dealt with, you're dividing in that statement. And it's like people who give from what religion has taught them. You have to give to the poor. You're giving to someone in their lack, seeing them in need. So how effective is that going to be? There's no such thing as those that do not have, only those that don't know that they have. And so yeah.
That's fascinating. Could you actually explain that a little bit more in depth?
Sure.
That really blew my mind.
So there's nobody here that does not have, they only don't know that they have. And so when we're taught to give something from our seeing them in need, they're not receiving the fullness of the gift. If we just see them as abundance and give to them and say, wow, have a great day, you're a great manifester, how do you think that'll work. You know, homeless people, and I've served many of them up in Nevada, they are drawing millions of dollars, hot meals every day. It's wonderful what they draw through people, but people still see them as not having, but they don't know that they have. So it's good to help them realize how powerful they are in bringing what they need through people. When we were
That's
told
really fascinating.
Definitely a different perspective when you think about it and the way you explained it. That makes enormous sense.
Yeah, they just don't know that they have. And nobody's telling them that either.
They're just saying, what else can we give you?
They're just saying, oh, you need, you're poor, you don't have. And that's so false.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's fascinating. There's a guy here in Las Vegas who runs a hero school. He actually founded it. And his first tenet of the hero school is that homeless people have to shift from asking for something first to giving something first, basically moving from a homeless person mindset to what he refers to as an entrepreneurial mindset, which is give first before you ask for something. And it's so funny you had mentioned that's the first thing that I thought of, because you would imagine that the homeless person does not have anything to give, but he says that by having them ask themselves the question, what do I have to give? It makes them more aware of what they actually have and what they offer and what they have. It's a very similar concept, but I never thought of it in these terms like you're mentioning. It's really
puts them in the mindset that they have something to give. And everything, you know, you get down to the next level of that, and source or God or whatever you want to call it is actually where everything comes from. So people we were taught everything to do everything from the outside in. And if we start working with our source energy and bringing what we want to us, what we want to manifest in our life from the true source of where it comes from, then we really won. You know, we can just go about with the connection to source energy from where all things come. So,
well, that's the mindset of the man who developed the Mastermind series and wrote that great book, is that if you help enough people get what they want, then you'll get what you want.
Well, it's a reciprocity. You know, what you give comes back to you, and you just don't think about it. It's really a great thing, not being a huge thinker, because
exactly
moving from thinking to feeling. Absolutely. So we just want to thank you again, Siobhan, for joining us today. We'd actually love to have you back in the next segment if you have some time. We would love to keep you on with us because it's been a fascinating conversation today. So if you want to stick around with us, we're going to bring Siobhan Nicolaou on with us again. She is the Sword of Truth, and she's been talking about transformation after tragedy and trauma. And stick around with us. We'll be back in just a moment on the Imagine More Success radio show. Did you expect your business to flourish, but instead it plateaued or didn't get off the ground yet? Would you like to achieve massive goals and discover new sources of income within your business? When you're ready to experience that type of success with fast results, Cindy Hendricks is the business coach for you. Her work with entrepreneurs and business owners has been life-changing. To get you and your business where you want to be, go to imaginemoresuccess.com. How would your life change if you could develop the business and personal skills that you need in order to make more money? Do you want to learn how to achieve your big life goals faster? Then go to findhiddenmoney.com and get the Goal for It online course. The course teaches you how you can set and achieve your biggest goals while completely overcoming the roadblocks to your goals so that you can realize your dreams and imagine more success. Go to findhiddenmoney.com.
Has the fear of public speaking stalled your business or personal life? What would you give to develop and maintain supreme confidence? Have an invaluable private program to always perform at your best. Imagine how you would feel. You can have all that and so much more today with Thomas Hyde's life-changing course called Number One Fear Unleashed. Visit numberonefear.com and be liberated from your fear of public speaking. Memorable dynamic presentations are a not-so-secret weapon in the business world. Do you have a powerful message that must be shared, but you haven't found a way to deliver that message? Do you want to be known as a top public speaker who gets amazing results? Are you ready to create and deliver your powerful message? Thomas Hides can help you create and deliver your speech to get the results you desire. Visit iconquality.com.
Welcome back to the Imagine More Success radio show with Cindy and Thomas. In our previous segments, we've been talking to Siobhan Nicolaou, the Sword of Truth. She's been enlightening us with her perspective on transforming energies from the energy source where they came from to the energy and frequency of love. This has been fascinating today. This has been so enjoyable and enlightening. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. You spent a lot of time doing this work. You said you've been at this now 27 years. In your personal work, how have you seen your own life transform over this time?
Oh my gosh.
Do we have enough time in this segment?
I wasn't the same person I was yesterday.
There's no softballs in this.
We just keep evolving. Every time we can be self-aware enough through being present and listening. It's not about not thinking and just loving. It's really about not thinking and listening. Listening is what we need to do, not think.
Well, and don't you feel it's also a state of being?
That's the way of being, exactly.
Exactly, yes. And sometimes all of us are not being who we probably should or could be.
Well, you want to watch out for those shoulds and coulds.
I know, you slip in it every time.
Yeah. How about what you can be? And, I tell people, too, how bad do you want it? Because some people aren't, not everybody is here to wake up to the extent that others are, and that's really okay. We just encourage you to love yourself more, regardless of where it takes you and what you choose to do with it.
Well, and that's what we teach in our courses, is that we ask, what are you willing to sacrifice to get what it is that you would like?
Well, there's nothing that you actually have to sacrifice other than your ego, so that's easy.
Well, that's a big one.
Well, ego is not just how you think of yourself, it's how you feel. It's everything between you and God. That's actually an acronym for that. Did you realize that?
I did not.
Everything that edges God out. Yeah.
I've never heard that. So ego is an acronym for everything, or edges God out, everything edges God out.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this, for people who do go through this process for you, what do you see in them? How does their life change?
Well, I give them the tools and then I coach them through using it. And I work with people of all different walks of life, all ages. I have students as young as 23. They're the quick ones, they get this stuff real fast. And so it's about a year, 18 months turnaround from where they want to go to where they begin. They just have to be willing and stick with it. And, sometimes the stick gets pretty big and they just get that too, and they're all right with that, and we just keep moving forward. But so we really want to focus on where people want to focus, and usually it's showing them how to be in the body, be self-aware, love themselves more, and as a result, that's the thing about love, as a result of being the presence of love to that which doesn't know itself to be the love that it is, it either can do one of two things. It has to go somewhere else or transform. And so within the self, it transforms, because that's all that you want really within you, is the connection to love that you feel you're separate from. And so when someone goes through that process, what happens is their vibrational frequency within the whole of who they are begins to vibrate differently and higher and more lovingly. And so therefore things just automatically change. So love helps things change of its own free will. It doesn't try to make things change and move things around. And that's the beauty of love. It doesn't control and manipulate in any way.
Siobhan, I have a question that I don't know that we have enough segment time for, but I want to ask it. That is, so many people that I've encountered have these issues with feeling unloved by their parents their entire lives, and it has such a negative effect and such a negative impact, or well, I don't want to use the term, but it has a very profound effect on their lives. How does one go about addressing that, and what's possible for someone who has those feelings?
Well, that was my wake up call back at the harmonic convergence. I mean, life was just hit a threshold for me, and I'm just going, really? If this is the sum total of what life is supposed to be, then hey, I'm out. I really didn't have anything to compare it to. When I found meditation, then my life turned around, and then it took me down the route that it took me to get to the golden light. And in the process of using the vibration of love, which is golden light in this dimension, and reawakening that within my physical and emotional body, and then learning how to transform it, that's what turned my life around. Like I say, people have to do their part. Good news is, folks, that meditation won't be necessary in about another 7 to 10 years, depending upon how connected we can get you constantly. Because we don't, recommend meditating more than 15 minutes a day, and that's only to help you manage your energy so you can feel the difference of when you're connected and when you're not. So we can keep you in the flow of that connection of self, in the sphere of self, actually self-contained, while you're walking around with your eyes open out during your day. It's not about sitting down. That's, again, it would have to be a doing, right? And so it's
Yes.
not a doing, it's a being. So we show you through a little bit of doing how to be the being that you are. Yeah. And so the parents have nothing to do with it, because it's not what they did. It was how you felt about what they did. And if you start looking at it from that perspective, you take them off the hook. If you look at all of it as being energetic in nature, and that you are love, which is the nature of everything, then you have the power of love that you make conscious and bigger within you to transform that which doesn't know itself to be the love that it is. Period.
Done. It's
People
easy.
Uh,
have to, the story isn't relevant anymore. I mean, really.
Well, there are so many things that people look outside of themselves for the answers, and the answers are inside. And that's true with just about everything when you're trying to get through your life. It's
Right.
what's inside that matters, and what's outside isn't as important when you're trying to sift through all these things.
Right. And beyond that, they're not really sifting through outside, they're sifting through in their head. And when you're
Yes.
grounded and contained within the being of you, which is what grounding and energy management that we work with people to help them with is, you can't really be thinking. We teach you how to listen rather than think. And that's where your true power is, because you'll never be making a left turn when you're supposed to be going right.
And there's something to be said for multitasking with that one too.
Oh, you get very good at it. Yes. You learn to have your awareness anywhere you want it, while you're never losing the focus of the silence in the center.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are that big. We are that powerful.
And so you brought some beautiful gifts for our listeners today.
Yes.
And I would love for you to share what they are and how they can get them.
Thank you. All right. So 5 people, lucky people, will be able to receive one of these gifts. So what I would like to do is, for someone who has suffered the result of trauma and tragedy, whatever that is, we don't care, however, if it just doesn't feel good, we want to give away 2 45-minute complimentary consultations. So we would like to give that to 2 people who really, really need it. We would like to offer 2 people complimentary Golden Light meditations. We have MP3s we'd like to send you. And then 1 ebook download of The Absence of Evil, Love's Reclamation of the Soul, which is my first book. The way you can get that is you can email me through my website. Again, SiobhanNicolaou.com. There's a contact form, and you can schedule the appointment or request that way.
And just let them know that you heard about your free gift from Imagine More Success radio show.
Perfect.
That's really valuable information and experience. I think I just want to encourage you, if you're listening today and Siobhan, touched you in a very deep way, I would definitely encourage you to reach out to her as well, because what it can do for you in your life and the changes it can make, not just for you, but the people around you, I think could really be significant. So definitely reach out to her, Siobhan Nicolaou, on her contact form at SiobhanNicolaou.com. Again, look for the Sword of Truth, if the spelling is a little bit difficult. One of your favorite quotes, Siobhan: "You cannot solve a problem with the same consciousness that created it." Is that's got to be like a mantra for life for you?
It absolutely is, and it's really the solution. And to so many, it's just a phrase. But if you really ponder what that means, then you'll see why war doesn't work, and marching doesn't work, and fighting doesn't work, and resistance doesn't work, and Me Too doesn't work. And I know I'll get flack for that, but all these other things doesn't. It brings awareness to issues that do need to be addressed, but by the same token, continuing the fight past that isn't really what it's about.
Well, and one of his next quotes is that if you do think that you can solve a same problem with the same way of being, then that's the definition of insanity.
Oh, solving a problem. Yes.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing over and over again.
I'm paraphrasing, of course.
Yes. And expecting a different result.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's where we're at in this juncture of the evolution of human consciousness. And really, it's about being limited in duality or being unlimited in non-duality.
Siobhan, if you had to give one piece of advice to listeners today for them to take that next step towards feeling and finding love within themselves and uncovering it, what would you tell them?
Call me.
You make it so easy.
Well, and why wait? Why wait? Get on with it already.
I'm a solution-oriented person. If you want it, we'll give you everything we've got, and
Perfect.
Happily so, yes.
I love that. And secondarily, I would assume one part of your answer might be listen as well, right? The listening.
Listen and love yourself more. Really, every time you want to just be uptight with someone else, or you're really uptight with yourself, and just make the decision in that moment that you're going to love yourself more. Drop those shoulders, take a deep breath, and feel the love that lives within you.
That is so beautiful, and I think just
Perfect
tremendous.
way to end our show.
Thank you.
Yes, if you'd like to learn more about our radio show and listen to some past episodes, you can go to imaginemoresuccess.net, where you actually find all of our old episodes listed so that you can check them out there. If you go to imaginemoresuccess.com, you can learn more about Cindy and I and about what we do outside of this as far as teaching goes and coaching. To find out more about our guest today, the Sword of Truth, Siobhan Nicolaou, go to siobhannicolaou.com, where you can also get her complimentary consultation, Golden Light Meditations, as well as a download of her ebook, The Absence of Evil, Love's Reclamation of the Soul. And we do also want to encourage you to check out our website for Cindy and I. It's called findhiddenmoney.com, which gives you the skills to increase the business in your personal business, as well as to give you a lot more happiness in your own life at findhiddenmoney.com. Thank you for joining us today. It was great to have Siobhan on and spend time with Cindy, and we look forward to reaching out to you again next week. We hope you have a fantastic week, and remember to realize your dreams and to imagine more success.
Little children aren't the only ones afraid of the dark. Millions of soldiers return from war zones with PTSD, anger, frustration, fear, and loneliness, much of which surfaces during the darkness of the night. You have the chance to change the lives of these American heroes. Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us provides free MP3 players for these men and women. With a list of 3 million songs in 16 different styles, 100,000 audiobooks, and 30,000 old-time radio programs, every veteran can find something to soothe and comfort them at no cost. All our players contain an 8-hour audio program designed to help veterans fall asleep. With 1,500 plus vets now participating, it's our goal to deliver 10,000 audio players this year. Go to our website at songsandstoriesforsoldiers.us. Help us help a veteran make it through the night.
Did you expect your business to flourish, but instead it plateaued or didn't get off the ground yet? Would you like to achieve massive goals and discover new sources of income within your business? When you're ready to experience that type of success with fast results, Cindy Hendricks is the business coach for you. Her work with entrepreneurs and business owners has been life-changing. To get you and your business where you want to be, go to imaginemoresuccess.com. How would your life change if you could develop the business and personal skills that you need in order to make more money? Do you want to learn how to achieve your big life goals faster? Then go to findhiddenmoney.com and get the Goal for It online course. The course teaches you how you can set and achieve your biggest goals while completely overcoming the roadblocks to your goals so that you can realize your dreams and imagine more success. Go to findhiddenmoney.com.
Has the fear of public speaking stalled your business or personal life? What would you give to develop and maintain supreme confidence? Have an invaluable private program to always perform at your best. Imagine how you would feel. You can have all that and so much more today with Thomas Hyde's life-changing course called Number One Fear Unleashed. Visit numberonefear.com and be liberated from your fear of public speaking. Memorable dynamic presentations are a not-so-secret weapon in the business world. Do you have a powerful message that must be shared, but you haven't found a way to deliver that message? Do you want to be known as a top public speaker who gets amazing results? Are you ready to create and deliver your powerful message? Thomas Hyde can help you create and deliver your speech to get the results you desire. Visit iconquality.com.